Hello everybody, welcome to this Formaloo review video. Today I'm going to be telling you everything you're going to need to know about Formaloo. As always, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I will also be leaving a discount link in the description so that you can always get your money's worth for Formaloo. So Formaloo is basically a piece of software which you're able to build databases without coding or having any previous coding knowledge at all. So this is essentially what the original dashboard looks like in the main dashboard. We have my Formaloos, we have all the things that are shared with us, CDP and templates on the left, along with some information about our plan. We also have the option to create a Formaloo, all of the different folders that we've got, along with the actual Formaloos that we've got itself. At the top right, we have the option to import. We can invite friends, we can upgrade our plan along with support, help, and also our profile. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on with creating one immediately. So these are all the options that we've got. And if we hit all templates, we can view all of the different categories for different types of dashboards or databases that we might need to create. So for example, we've got things for online exams and quizzes. We have templates for quizzes. We have class registration, stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and actually do class registration. I quite like this. So we're going to go ahead and hit edit. Now this is basically where we can edit this to our complete desire from the ground up. So we obviously have all our input boxes. We have a title, description, name, email, and some yes or no answers. But you can either edit what we've got here already by simply clicking and then obviously editing the title of each question. All you need to do is click on each one of them and you can change it. Or if you go to add field at the top, you can add any of these different options here. So for example, if you wanted to add a city location, you would add city, and then you would call this where are you from? And then what this will allow you to do is obviously select the different options that you then require. So you can set whether it's required or not. You can obviously make it admin only. You can also set a default value as well. So this is basically what will already be included. As well as that, you've got the option to add videos, likes and dislikes. So let's go for another one. Let's do a score of 0 to 10. So if we do a title of how happy are you today? And when you've asked that question, you can then set a minimum score of 1 and a maximum score of, let's say, 10. And once you've done that one, you can set a minimum score message or a maximum score message. And whenever you're done, it will simply have imported, and then you have the question, how happy are you today? So say once you've finished it, what you would then do is you can move on to the settings page. Now, this is where you can essentially set the web address for it. So you've got the address here. This is the web address that we would have for this form. You would also select the category, so you can create different categories. We'll get onto that a little bit later, but you can actually then categorize these into different sections. So we'll put it in reviews just for the sake of it. You can then, obviously it says 1 entry limit per IP. You can turn this on and off depending on if your account is pro or not. But what that allows you to do is stop spam bots coming in. So if people want to use a VPN, that is really the only way around it. But only one person connected to the same network can actually do it. You then have when it will be active from and how long it will be active to. If you do, you can have a redirect URL. You can send form data to the redirect URL. You have a timer, the maximum amount of responses, whether it's active or not, and whether you want to have any payment as well. You can also change the design. So the form type you can change between widget, which it would just be a little widget, but these fields are not supported. You can have single step or you can have multi-step. You can obviously show the title and description on the first page of the form, which should be here and here. And then you can also have a progress bar to show people how far along they are. Along with some color coordination, you can basically customize it like that. Lots of nice little features to make it a little bit more personal. As for notifications, you can basically send a notification to yourself for each response that you receive and also send any data to the submitter. You also have a calculator. So what this allows you to do is, as you can see, it's a form calculator. We'll just select what we already have, which was a multi one. And then we can show a final calculation after submission. We can show an answer sheet after submitting the form. And we can also change the currency between wherever we want if that is on the form. Sometimes it won't be, sometimes it will. But as you can see, to use it, choose one of the multi-select, single select number, or short text, long text, or yes or no field. So we will go with let's go for a yes or no field here. And then what this will do is you can add a calculation to this field. So if we hit add a calculation, If the answer was yes, then add 1 to the score or the price. So what this allows you to do is, say you're selling a product or something like that, what you would then be able to do is, depending on what people's answers are, say you were trying to find out what product is perfect for them, you can add to the score, and depending on the score, it will recommend them a product. There's loads of different things that you can do with that, but that's just one sort of use case for an option like this. And then you obviously have your answer sheet as well, where you can view them. Under logic, it will take you to another separate sort of website area where you're able to have a table. So this is basically where you can set logic almost. So depending on what they answer, it will take them to different questions. So say this is a very, very linear form at the moment. So it's just 1, 2, 3, and there's no, depending on what your answer is, it doesn't matter. You will go 1, 2, 3 to 7. However, what you can do is you can add another one, and you can connect these in different ways. So if I go to advanced logic, you can actually add an if or an else. So for example, if, hey, what is your full name, is or contains, and then a word, so let's put opulent, then you can do whatever you want. You can either hide, you can go to a different question, you can add, subtract, multiply, divide, or you can do the same. So loads of different things, and you can basically set conditions for each question. So basically, people go in completely different directions. You can add to the score depending on what they answer, all different sort of things. It's not really like the calculator, but the option of adding, stuff like that, that is similar. But logic is just basically on a whole nother level where you can customize the flowchart to your complete desire. And then finally, you're able to view your responses. Obviously, with a form, you're going to want to view them. So all you need to do is go to the responses tab, and you're able to view them in here. We don't have any at the moment, as you can see. This is where you would view them, and then you can obviously do any of these options that we were already on. You can present them, you can edit them, you can view them, you can duplicate them, anything you want. Under charts, you're basically able to view all of the overall analytics, so of what people have answered. So what class are you registering? These will obviously be pie charts depending on how many people have done it, and when you have actually got answers, these will be nice little statistics as to what people have said. You can obviously view the responses for each individual question and stuff like that, and who it's from. You can do integrations and webhooks. So with Pabbly, you can integrate it into all these different websites here. So you've got like stuff like Google Sheets, you've got Slack, all these different types of things that you can basically integrate, so you can get feedback for all of those. Then you're obviously able to share the form to people by hitting the copy button, and then also you're able to do a presentation mode by hitting this button here. Allows you to essentially present this form to people and responses and all sorts of different things for that. So we're back on the main page. Now, these are actually all very, very similar. Everything that they do is basically the same. The way that you go about it is the same. The tabs are the same. It's just sometimes, depending on what they are, they won't be inputs, they'll be text. It just really depends on what you've done. But moving on to the folders now. The folders are interesting. Now, what you can do with these is, if I say reviews, for instance, this is where you can view all of the reviews categorized under the certain category. So you can create new folders in folders if you really, really want to, and go even more in depth. But say you wanted reviews for, if you had numerous companies, you'd be able to have a folder for each company. And then if you wanted to create, any of these for each of those companies, you would then drag and put them into that respective folder. And then to create a new one, you'd simply just hit create a new folder, folder title and folder color. And then at the bottom here, you've got a nice little way of viewing all of your Formaloos in one place. You're also able to view any that have been shared with you. Obviously, nobody has shared it with our account yet, but if you do, this is where you would view it. Under CDP, you're able to view the customer data platform. This is basically where you can view all the information and all of the information about your customers as well. So you've got total customers, orders, all about all this information, but obviously data will be required in order to actually get a statistic for each of them. You're able to view a graph of all the orders over time, so you're able to view it daily or monthly, and there'll be a nice little chart for that. And also your total customers as well, along with any submissions for the form that you've got. You're able to view a list of all of your customers under here with the information listed. You're also able to view all of the different campaigns that you've got, and you can also create one on this page as well via either SMS or email to send out to any of your customers. You're also able to view your tags with the respective titles, colors created at, and actions, along with your connections, which basically allow you to see any integrations that you've already set up. For example, we have WooCommerce here, and this was created on this date at that time. And this is basically where you can view all of the different integrations that you've got with your forms. And then finally, a map view. Now, obviously, we don't have enough customers or audience members, but when you do, this is basically where you can view a lovely sort of map of all the different statistics about your forms. But more or less, that is about it for Formaloo. So now it begs the question, what do I think about Formaloo? And in all honesty, I think it's a brilliant way of being able to create forms, send that out to people, gather information, basically any form of, crowdsourcing that you need, you're able to do here. The way that you can organize it into folders, very, very handy, very simplistic. I really like the way that everything is laid out in a visually appealing way. Not many websites have something like that. Some websites obviously struggle in the terms of how they're actually viewed and how they look, but this one, it looks incredible. But thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.